Hi everyone, it's Lillian here with another Facebook Live, Monday morning, 10 o'clock, and I hope you're all enjoying the sunshine after last week. What I'm going to share with you today is a process I had in designing cards for the Whale of a Tale card class. So this is a card that is not going to be part of the class, but it will show you some of the techniques and things that I'm doing. And those of you taking the class, you will be able to have an extra project using that. So let's go down and look at the desk top, and then I can explain some more. All right, let's get you flipped down. Oh, sorry, it's taking me a little longer. There we go. Okay. And hello, Donna. I see you there. And I am sure there are others too, but as you all know, I am not good at being able to see who's waving, who's saying hi when I am taping. But I do encourage you to do that, leave comments, that kind of thing, and I will get back to you later. Okay, I just am trying to get my video feed up so I can make sure that I am on, but we will see. It doesn't seem to want to do that. Let's go back to here. Alrighty, first off, just a reminder that the month of July, from July 1st to August 3rd, is bonus days. So every $60 that you spend in merchandise, you get an email from Stampin' Up! With a coupon to use in August. Is $6 off. So for every $60 you spend. So you can end up with a lot of coupons. Here is a warning though, do not lose that email. Save it in a safe spot. I have no way of accessing it for you, so you need to be able to find that at any time. Also, I really do appreciate you sharing my videos, sharing different things. I do also encourage you to put a note that you have shared it, because if you don't, some of you it shows up that you've shared, and some of you, because of certain email settings or, pardon me, Facebook settings that you might have, it won't let me know that you shared. It just says that somebody shared. So do let me know that you shared, and what I've done is put everyone who shared this last week in here. So what you will receive in the mail is this card that we made a week ago. And also you will receive these great red rhinestones that work not only for Christmas and Valentine's, but if you have the Playful Pets suite, they look great on that as a little accent on the dog's collar or on all different kinds of things. So this will be coming to, a drum roll please, let's see, Donna D. So Donna is in Kelowna. So thank you, Donna, for sharing. And I will be popping this in the mail for you very shortly. There we go. Now let's, I don't know if Sue's watching, but Sue loves show and tell, and I do have a couple of show and tell things today. One is, this is new, I've just received it. These are the square vellum doilies. I haven't even opened them up. I have to admit that I didn't even notice them in the catalog at first. They're shown in the Peony suite, and then they're also shown at the back. But they are vellum, they're square, and they can be colored, or they can be used as is. Let me just bring in, I'll bring in some Pacific Point. There, you can see how it shows up. So even if you just had used a part of it or all of it, it just really is very elegant. And like I said, you can color that with sponges or markers or whatever, so or blends. So I'm looking forward to doing something with that. The other thing that I got, these are new. We have the little boxes that are cubes, and we have the boxes that hold regular size cards. But these little boxes, when you form them, they actually make a card box da-da, for 3x3 size cards. So here's one I made using the new In Colors and the medium daisy punch. So here it is. They all fit inside, and the envelope fits inside too. Envelopes, pardon me. So I just made a set of cards, all in the same color. I got this idea from another demonstrator, but I could put those all in this little box and make a wonderful little gift. So this is new this year, this size. So perfect for those 3x3 cards. And I know some of you just absolutely love those 3x3 cards. So wanted to let you know about that. Let's put that out of the way. Now I've been working on a class for the Whale of a Tale class, and it's too late now to register to get the product, and too late to register to get the make and take things. But if you down the road or even today decide, oh, I really want to get that bundle and I wish I'd signed up for the class, guess what? In this day and age with COVID and the things that I've been learning, you can still do that class anytime, because I will have the PDF. The PDF is the written instructions, and it will also be saved both on a private Facebook group and a private YouTube link. So say, for example, next week you say, oh, I really wish I'd taken that class. You can email me the cost for just the written instructions to be emailed to you, and for the video it's just $15, and so you can sign up for that anytime. So any of the classes I now offer online, you can sign up for them anytime and still get the PDF and the video. So if something from the past has interested you, just let me know. But what we're going to be using today is this bundle here. Oh, by the way, I should say, this is where you can place online orders if you want. And if you use the current hostess code on any orders under $200, then I send you a thank you and that kind of thing. So that's very helpful. Okay, the bundle I'm using today, it's the Whale Done stamp set, and then the Whale Builder Punch. Now, I know that's a little bit hard to see with reflection, but it's got the basic whale and then all these little pieces. I'm going to show you that in just a moment, how that works. I love this. I grew up by the Pacific Ocean. I love also going to Hawaii. So I love all things sea. So the Whale Builder Punch punches out all of these shapes. So you've got your basic whale. This piece here can be glued on there for a contrast. This can be an extra fin. Now you can either lay it over top like this, or I will show, maybe I won't show you today, but it can be also put here so it's separate. This is your spout, and this little circle's the eye. So I just did that so you could see how it all works together. Now I've been working on this class, and because it's part of this suite here, I've sort of been concentrating on these kinds of colors just because that's what was showcased on it. And Harry and I were out for a walk, and I was thinking, but there are black and white whales, and I love my black and white cards. So I came home and I made this little black and white 3x3 card just as a beginning. And I thought, that's neat. And I can add rhinestones or something to add a little bit of color. It does need a little bit of color. There are sequins that go with this, but the sequins are in back order, but there are lots of other things you can use. Then I thought, well, what about a regular size card? So I just used black and white, and then for just a little bit of color, and I haven't got these glued down, and I haven't got them glued down for a reason. I just added a bit of Pacific Point right behind with that narrow little border. The reason it's so narrow is because I have a layer. If I hadn't put an extra white layer here, I likely could have made the borders a little bit bigger. I just made the squares. Now you could use a die, but I just cut them. The white squares are 1.5 square, and I just stamped a bit of the images from the stamp set. So I just used 1, 2, 3. I could have put my words on one of these if I wanted, whatever. So then I thought, well, they don't have to be on squares. Sometimes my thought process goes backwards a little bit. I could have just done it on a strip and bring in this for color and just go like that. And that would work well too. And you can see now that this type of thing would work with flowers. It would work with all kinds of things. But now let me just show you. My brain started going other directions. So then I thought, well, what if I used a technique? Now let me just flip this over. And I'm going to show you this technique today. And I added color to the stamps. Can you see how it just starts to change a little bit like that? Now I stamped here and I haven't done anything else to this. I could easily use an embossing folder on this. So I'll show you that. I changed it up even more, used Pacific Point in the background, used the Old World embossing folder on this one, did it on a strip like that, and then added some of this. So just some of my thought process, some of the ways you can make it go, all from the same concept. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do this two-toned stamping. And again, remember, you can do this with anything. It doesn't have to be the Whale Done set. But let's bring in this paper here. First off, I stamped Whale Done on it, and I do want to emboss it. This time I'm going to use the Seabed embossing folder, and there is a bit of an up and down on this, so I'm going to put it in like that. It doesn't matter if it's straight. Bring in my die cutting machine and just do some embossing. I've got this with the new die cutting machine. There is a plate that comes with it, so you don't need to use this special one. But for right now, this works it here. Make sure there's nothing overhanging the edge and run it through. There's so many gorgeous embossing folders. This is one that's particularly beautiful, whether you use it on a large piece or a small piece. And there it is right there. Now you'll notice that I was careful to do my stamping before. Those of you who have tried to stamp afterwards know it's hard to get a good image on such a bumpy surface. But there, you've got it like that. And now you could even eke up a sponge and brush it over if you wanted. But I'm going to leave it just like that. I'm going to bring in my Pacific Point. This is half a sheet. It's cut 4 1/4 by 11, so it's half a sheet the long way. And I'm just going to score it at 5 1/2. I always like to score my card bases. I find they fold ever so much nicer. You don't get all that crinkly business happening. So even though it's scored, though, I still like to line up the edges. Sometimes you can just send it off kilter a little bit and then use this here. So when the time comes to assemble, I will be putting that there. Just as a little aside, I've known I've shown it before, but look at that embossing folder on the silver. So any of your metallics, they really show up beautifully. Okay, so now I could have stuck this way, but I am going to show you how to do this. So let's bring in a piece of white paper here, and white on white, I don't know about you, it's a little hard to see. And because it's photopolymer, I'm going to bring this in. You can see I've used that side a lot. I better flip it over. All right, so I'm going to put that. I can still see through it. And there we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use 2 colors. I'm going to use Coastal Cabana and Pacific Point. And you can use any 2 colors that play happily together. And I'm going to start with the lightest one first. And then do the darker. So there we go. I'm going to take the whale. Actually, I'm going to start with the turtle just because I like to work that way. Don't ask me why. That's just me. I'm going to take the turtle, ink it up in the Coastal Cabana so it's nice and inky. Now I'm going to take a sponge dauber. You can use a sponge too, and take some Pacific Point, and now do not do very much, just a little bit. And I know that this turtle has a darker spot here, so I'm just going to dab it a couple of times there. In the past, I've gotten too carried away with my daubing and sometimes ended up with it all being that color. And whoops, before I do it, it's likely dried a little bit, the ink, so all I'm going to do is huff. You know, when you blow into the air and when it's cold because you want to make those clouds with your mouth, same thing. Little heavy breathing. And there we go. Isn't that gorgeous? I just love it. I'm just really hooked on this right now, I have to say. Now I'm going to do the same with the jellyfish. I'm going to ink it up with the light one. And then bring this in and just a 1, 2, 3. That's good enough, I think. Huff. And there we go. And now the whale. The whale is the biggest, so I like to save him for the end, and then I can fit him in wherever. So here I've inked it up again with the Coastal Cabana. This time I'm going to do just a little bit on his fin, a little bit on his head, and a little bit on his tail. I know his tail isn't going to show up, but I just like doing it. So let's see here. I do want his fin in. There we go. Oh, I just love it. All right, so I'll clean that off after. Now I could leave it just like that. Looks like I cut a bit off there. I forgot to press, but that's okay. Now I think I want a few of the dots. This stamp set has the fish, and these fish can go either way, swim either direction when you're stamping. That's really fun. We're not using them today. We're going to use this just to add a little bit more interest to the background. I'm going to stamp it off once because I don't want it as, oh, I put it in the wrong color. Definitely don't want that. And I think I've buried my stamp cleaning pad. There, I've got it cleaned. So let's go back to the Coastal Cabana and stamp off. Glad I stamped off and caught that. Okay, I'm just going to 1, 2, 3, then re-ink, stamp off. Da, 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 da. Yeah, it helps to sing a little. I should know when to stop. It's hard to stop when you're enjoying yourself like that. So then I've got it like that. Now, if I should have brought in another piece of paper for the inside here. I have not re-inked this. If I was wanting to re-ink this, I would need to clean it. But I just want to get a light impression for the inside of my card. So I'm going to huff again. And stamp. And then I get that really soft impression there. So there's for the inside of my card. And now we are ready to do some assembling. So we've got this one here. And that. And we'll put, now I wanted to bring in the Stamp and Seal. Before, I hadn't used it very much, and you know, I love my green glue, my multi-purpose glue, but I was using this a whole lot last night, and I am loving it. And I've heard people complain, and I think it's because they're pressing too hard, but if you just glide along, it just goes on beautifully. Now, I have this set up so that I could center it, but I think I am going to offset it, put it a little closer to the top than the bottom. I made it 1/4 inch wider. Now that for those of you who are new, Stampin' Seal is replacing Snail, and it is a stronger adhesive, and there is more on a roll. And then you can also get the really strong, it's the Seal Plus, and it can interchange with the case too. So now this is going to go down on here, and it looks like I need to, I've got it, I'm just talking to myself, sorry. I need to do a little trimming at the end. You don't need to make that check mark. I don't know why I did it there, just force of habit. Now I do like to use my grid paper for lining things up. And there we go. Line it up with the same line on this side. Looks good. Looks like I need to trim a little bit off. I could bring my paper trimmer in, but just as easy to use my snips right now. Like that. I could have put this on dimensionals too, but I didn't. But that's always an option. I'm putting extra adhesive on this. Whoops, get my finger out of there. It's very sticky because it's bumpy. Whenever I've embossed, I am a little more generous with my adhesive. And let's just fasten that in here. Like that, and I could be absolutely finished. A couple of things you can do if you want to dress it up even more. You can bring your Wink of Stella in and just add, I don't know, maybe where you did the dark blue, just to add a little bit. Now, it won't show up very much on the video, but if you could see it in real life, it just catches a little bit. Now, we also have some wonderful new embellishments, and I could use the resin dots. I keep my embellishments in a case, and then I also put what colors they are. And these, ooh, those would look nice. Okay, so there's those. I also have the Artistry Bloom sequins. If I had the sequins that go with this suite, they would work well too. And they've got little shells. Okay, which do I want? Do I want the sequins or the resin dots? Let me just see. I'm going to stand up and you tell me which one, sequins or resin dots. This looks kind of watery, and I used the resin dots on the last one I did. So let's just go with this. I'm going to use my take your pick tool. Remember, when you're removing sequins and dots and rhinestones, it's always good to sort of roll the backing a little bit, and then you make sure you get the adhesive. Now, I always go back to my standard 3. I love the fact that I can just travel around and put that one over there. Okay, so that is that card. So, and again, let me just see, where did I put the inside? So this will go on the inside like that, and then you can put whatever greeting you want. So just sharing again my thought process, and maybe you can tell me what you like. So here's the card with the resin dots, and I use just the verse here. This uses the Old World embossing folder, and I did put this on dimensionals. This I put flat. Let's get rid of some of this stuff. And I use the sequins here. So which do you like better, with the Old World or the Seabed embossing folder, sequins or resin dots? Let me know. Remember, in the process, I also was making this. And again, this technique can be done with any of your stamps. Can you imagine flowers being done with these two tones? Or well, even the Geared Up Garage, I was thinking, or dinosaurs, or I'm trying to even think what my stamps are, but really anything. So you can either cut out small pieces and use them like that. I could have even put one of them, and I could have put the words and put them like that, or da-da, da-da, da-da. So you can play around a lot with just these few pieces and get a lot of different looks. So hope you enjoyed that. Hope that's got your creative juices going. Thank you for your comments and for tuning in. And if you're doing this, if you're making any cards like this, I would love it if you would share and post them. Also, I appreciate your support, your comments, your sharing, all those kinds of things. So next Monday, I will be doing a draw for who has shared, and it'll be one of these cards. So take care, have fun stamping, enjoy your summer. Bye-bye.